Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Making you a security inspector, have you become a great glory of the country? Qin Yuan traveled through parallel worlds, participated in challenge programs, and became a border security inspector in southern Yunnan. Coincidentally, the roadshow of Throwing Alone came to the border for promotion, and a joint live broadcast with Border Defense conducted a practical exercise to test the anti-fraud awareness of border inspectors. Qin Yuan. Beauty, please cooperate and take off your boots. Beautiful driver. Comrade, did you make a mistake? We are just traveling to northern Myanmar. Qin Yuan. Please kneel down and lift your buttocks upNetizen. Sleeping slot. I can do this job, is this position still hiring people? Just as the production team and border leaders were all blackened out, thinking that Qin Yuan was intentionally robbing money, Qin Yuan found drugs in the crotch of a beautiful woman. With Qin Yuan becoming popular, during the live broadcast, he showed the whole network what it means to have a keen eye. Human trafficking. Smuggling drugs. Stealing secrets from major powers. As long as Qin Yuan is with us, the border defense in southern Yunnan is as strong as gold soup. Until one day, Qin Yuan caught a technology thief and found the blueprint of the Huawei 7 nano chip on his bodyOnline explosion. It turns out that Americans are really scared. Someone was sent to steal the blueprint. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Practical exercise. Live streaming breaks through border defense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hello everyone in the live broadcast room. Now we are at the Ruili-Jiegao port on the southern Yunnan border, which is also a barrier between China and Myanmar, closely connected to the town of Mujie in Myanmar. From a geographical perspective, it is extremely important. At the same time, it is also the last barrier to protect victims of fraud heading to northern Myanmar. Huaxia, on a road connecting to Myanmar in the southern border of Yunnan. Although this place may seem remote, there are many vehicles coming and going, and a border inspection port is set up here. As the lead actor of the anti-fraud film Invest Alone, Zhang Yixing, along with the publicity and production team, came here for live broadcast promotion. As Zhang Yixing appeared in front of the camera, his handsome appearance immediately aroused the excitement of the live broadcast audience. Yixing is so handsome, Zhang Zongping, me. Brother, come on, be down to earth, work hard and strive again. As the live broadcast room became lively, Zhang Yixing also received a message from the roadshow director and then looked at the camera, smiling and speaking. Our director wants to create some different gameplay this time. The Border Defense Forces of the Dianan Armed Police will cooperate with us to conduct a practical exercise targeting border soldiers. Don't miss it, let's see if our country's last barrier can protect our security. 10 minutes later. A black, plain Ford sedan drove over and slowly slowed down less than 100 meters near the border checkpoint. During this process, a handsome and slightly tanned border police officer noticed the car. Qin Yuan tidied up his police hat, his eyes puzzled. He is the only border police officer who noticed this car, and other colleagues are questioning the vehicle in front of him. Strange. Qin Yuan couldn't help but frown and said, "Did I just have a daze? Why does it seem like a pop-up notification box popped up on that car?" But upon closer inspection, it disappeared again, and Qin Yuan didn't think much. He simply walked over and bent down to take a look inside the car. The driver was a handsome young man wearing a hat and black framed glasses. At first glance, he looked familiar, but his face was dirty and unrecognizable. ID card. Qin Yuan asked for the driver's ID card as usual and also looked at a beautiful woman in the passenger seat. The beautiful woman was wearing a red long dress, wearing a toed mirror that seemed to cover half of her face, and her red lips were enchanting. The black stockings under the skirt wrap around tight and beautiful legs, with legs overlapping and high saturation of colors filled with an ambiguous atmosphere. She looked up as if looking at Qin Yuan and instinctively licked her red lips. Qin Yuan timely averted his gaze and said, "There's still yours." The beautiful woman extended her tender jade fingers, as if accidentally wiping Qin Yuan's waist. She then took off her sunglasses and revealed a pair of charming eyes, with a seductive smile on her lips towards Qin Yuan. "Here. Handsome guy, here you are." When Qin Yuan calmly took the ID card, the beautiful woman's finger hooked in the palm of his hand, causing him to furrow his brow, but in the end, he didn't say much. In a hidden corner of the back row, a hidden camera is flashing red dots. All the process just now was witnessed by the audience in the live broadcast room, which immediately caused a considerable response. Openly seducing border guards. This beautiful woman is challenging the legal bottom line, that's right. That's too much. What I mean is, let go of that little brother and come towards me. Just now, how did I see that little brother's gaze at beautiful women look a bit strange? Shouldn't he really be interested? How are you speaking upstairs? Are you questioning the quality of our country's border guards? Speaking of which, our brother is really good at concealing himself. He pretended to be a driver and pretended to be so similar. If we were to say that he is a native of Myanmar, I wouldn't doubt it. The live broadcast room was filled with excitement. Obviously everyone felt it was very exciting. Especially everyone wants to know whether this border guard little brother will take his eyes off and let them go. After all, I heard they tampered with their ID cards at this moment. Qin Yuan seemed to have checked their ID cards and handed them back, with a warm smile on his face. "Your documents. There's no problem." Meanwhile, in a temporary observation room built 1 kilometer away. Not only the hundreds of thousands of viewers in the live broadcast room are watching this live broadcast, but also the director of the roadshow, Director Liu, and the captain of the Yunnan South Armed Police Border Defense Force, Yao Guowei. After seeing Qin Yuan return his ID card, Yao Guowei's face looked a bit ugly. Lu Zhidao looked over with pride and said, "Captain Yao, this is a prop. This guy didn't even notice it. It seems like I'm going to add chicken legs to our prop group when I go back." Yao Guowei is lazy and unhappy. He also felt puzzled in his heart. Nowadays, there are specialized handheld devices for checking ID cards, and all information about this person can be found online. If it's a prop, isn't that a fake certificate that limits its applicability? Can this be found or not? Wait, not right. Qin Yuan didn't even have a machine just now. Neglecting duty. The crime is heinous. Yao Guowei suddenly felt a bit annoyed. This is not allowed in normal times, let alone during live broadcasts. This is not a shameful loss. Not only Qin Yuan is likely to be fired, but he himself will also be punished. Get up immediately and go find Qin Yuan. Yao team, where are you going? Director Liu deliberately smiled and said, "It's too late to go now. We've checked everything and everything is fine. We'll definitely release the people. Once we cross the border, it's within Myanmar's borders." Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, a staff member beside him pointed to the monitor and spoke in surprise. "Director Liu, doesn't he seem to have any intention of releasing people? And let them get off the car? What does he want to do?" The new book set sail, seeking data. If the data is good, it's even more guaranteed to be 10 times a day. Chapter 2. System Awakening. Take off your stockings too. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When he heard the assistant's words, the smile on Director Liu's face immediately froze. Yao Guowei paused in his footsteps and quickly turned his head, his eyes fixed on the monitor. He also wants to know what Qin Yuan really wants to do. Is it to save the image of border police in the minds of the audience? Or are you making repeated mistakes? He can be sure that if Qin Yuan does not handle it well this time, then in this internet era, the public opinion will be so noisy that they will be drowned. The consequences are unimaginable. On the border defense highway. At this moment, Zhang Yixing had already gotten off the car. Although he kept explaining and saying, "I made a mistake, comrade, we are just going on a trip," he was very happy in his heart. God knows how nervous Qin Yuan was when he told them his documents were fine just now. This is a live broadcast, with hundreds of thousands of viewers watching in the live room. And everyone knows that there is a problem with the documents. If Qin Yuan really lets them go, then the matter will be big. This is not the purpose of their program team, in conjunction with the Yunnan South Armed Police Border Defense Force, to conduct this practical exercise. Unlike Zhang Yixing, the beautiful woman in the passenger seat appeared a bit nervous, as if she didn't want to get off the car. She bit her red lips lightly, and her seductive eyes were full of ripples. I still pity her when I see her. Little brother, there was really a misunderstanding. Don't be afraid, just ask you a few questions. It's okay, I'll handle things here. Qin Yuan gestured to two colleagues who seemed to have noticed something was happening and came to help as he spoke to appease him. After finishing speaking, he looked at the beautiful woman again and tried to slow down his tone, saying, "Li Yinan, I just asked you to get off the car and ask you a question. If you refuse to cooperate, I can only take compulsory measures." Although Qin Yuan's tone was gentle and seemingly persuasive, he was actually calmly observing the woman in front of him. The beautiful woman didn't notice these details, she only noticed that the other person calling her name was on a fake certificate. It seems that the other party really has no doubt about the fake certificate. At the same time, she also saw Qin Yuan's hand resting on the gun bag at his waist, and finally stopped saying anything. She closed her mouth in frustration and got off the car. Seeing that both the man and the woman had already gotten off the car, Qin Yuan didn't immediately question them and instead sat down in the passenger seat. "Let me check your car, is it okay?" Qin Yuan spoke casually, but in fact, he had already begun to search. "Comrades, don't worry, you can check at will." Zhang Yixing smiled and said, although the beautiful woman's expression was somewhat unnatural, she didn't say much. All of this was seen by the audience in the live broadcast room, and after a brief silence, the barrage suddenly erupted. "Sleeping slot. I almost thought he caught me just now. Oh no, I didn't do anything wrong, why do I feel guilty about being a thief? Didn't you notice? The young man looks kind-hearted, but when his back is turned to them, his eyes are very sharp. Maybe it's just a matter of passing by. Even if it passes, it's still a bad person. It should be. You said he didn't even find a fake certificate, what can you find by flipping through it all? How do you know he didn't find any fake evidence? I suspect he deliberately pretended not to know, so as not to startle the snake. Sleeping slot. There's a possibility. 666. In the temporary observation room. Yao Guowei and Director Liu both looked a bit nervous. Yao Guowei naturally held his sweat, especially after seeing Qin Yuan refuse the assistance of two colleagues. He knew he was going to be bad. This is clearly not treating the other party as a suspect. Especially when he started rummaging in the car again, it was obvious that even though Qin Yuan was a bit alert, he didn't have much. I found the wrong direction. It's a document. The issue with the documents. Director Liu was equally nervous beside him. He didn't necessarily want to see Qin Yuan embarrass himself, but rather worried that if Qin Yuan really discovered it soon, the heat might not be enough. Fortunately, Qin Yuan clearly had no doubts about the documents from beginning to end. As for the car, whatever he searches, he won't find anything. Qin Yuan did search the car for a long time, including the trunk, but did not find anything. After discovering a red dot in the back row, my movements paused for a moment. Then he quickly averted his gaze. This also made the audience in the live broadcast room, who were frightened and held their breath, breathe a sigh of relief. Give me a thrill. I thought he noticed we were watching. What does it mean to think? He clearly saw it just now. Can't he? Why didn't he say anything? Just discovering the camera is not illegal, what's there to say? Qin Yuan naturally didn't know that behind the red dots was a farce live broadcast. But now, whether it's a live broadcast or not, the situation is already very serious. In fact, when he first received their ID cards, he had already seen the pop-up window that appeared like a holographic projection again. Super security system successfully bound. Ding, please note that you have found 2 fake ID cards. The system automatically retrieves information. Just a few seconds have passed. Qin Yuan's eyes had once again seen a pop-up window. Name: Zhang Yixing, gender: male, identity: actor, crime: none. Name: Li Nan, gender: female, identity: crew member/drug dealer, crime: carrying over 1 kilogram of methamphetamine. Drug trafficking. The problem is much bigger than fake certificates. And it's over 1 kilogram, enough to be sentenced to death. However, Qin Yuan cannot be sure if all of this is his own illusion or if the system, which was delayed for 3 months, has arrived. So he decided to confirm. After getting on the car, I fumbled around without any pop-up reminders. Prove that the drug doesn't seem to be in the car. Perhaps the human body harbors toxins. At this moment, Qin Yuan finally got off the car and looked at Zhang Yixing and Li Nan again, with his gaze particularly focused on Li Nan. Nowadays, there is a lot of buzz about Myanmar online. Are you still going to Myanmar? Is it really a trip? It's true, little brother, okay, but to ensure safety both inside and outside the country, could you please take off your boots so I can check them? Li Nan was surprised and said, "Ah. Take off your boots. Please cooperate." Qin Yuan once again placed his hand on his waist. Li Nan suddenly felt a little uneasy. What's wrong? Don't you have any doubts about your documents? Why do you look like you have a problem with yourself? I haven't shown any signs of cheating myself, have I? And thinking of her hiding place, Li Nan's heart completely relaxed. If it were a female police officer, she would really feel a bit uneasy. But what can this male police officer really do to himself? So Li Nan leaned against the car, with a frivolous demeanor and seductive eyes, and took off her boots. Little brother, do you need someone to take off their stockings too? Li Nan deliberately bit her red lips. Make progress by retreating. She just doesn't like Qin Yuan's aloofness and wants to provoke him. Who knows, okay, let's take off the stockings. Li Nan. Zhang Yixing. Audience. The new book set sail, seeking data. If the data is good, it's even more guaranteed to be 10 times a day. Is chapter 3 true or false? Is it true that there are toxins in the body? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The smile on Li Nan's face froze. If it were normal, she would be happy to take off her stockings and even do something more exciting for such a handsome guy. But this is border defense, and it's still in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers in the live broadcast room. Little brother, isn't this really good? Please cooperate, I don't want to say it again. Qin Yuan's expression was indifferent, and he once again placed his hand on his waist. 2 colleagues, seeing that the situation seemed to be wrong, also walked over one after another. eye.Human, what's going on? Qin Yuan has confirmed this time that what he experienced was not an illusion, but a system. Because just now, he also felt a surge of heat pouring into his body. And it also enhances his strength, reaction, visual and other abilities. Even when he just took Li Nan's short boot and touched her hand, the system gave a prompt again, and specifically found the location of the drug hiding on Li Nan's body. Obviously, this is not an illusion. It's true. It's just that it's not in the car. But rather taking a deep breath, Qin Yuan said directly, I suspect she has hidden drugs on her body and needs to be checked." Just this one sentence immediately made the two colleagues' faces change suddenly. After realizing it, they quickly pulled out their guns and pointed them at Li Nan, who was already stunned. "Don't move. Hold your head and squat down. As per our request, take off your stockings." At this moment, the number of viewers in the live broadcast room has skyrocketed to nearly 1 million. Mainly because Tajir was stimulating. Although it was a practical exercise, now let the female anchor take off her stockings in public. Obviously, the audience in the live broadcast room did not realize the seriousness of the situation. Drug. Zune du fa do this is too outrageous, isn't it? Isn't this a practical exercise? Why did all the drugs come out? I seriously suspect that these border guards are using inspections as a pretext to get their hands on it. That's right. Where did so many drug traffickers come from? How dare they transport drugs during live broadcasts? The live broadcast room is more of malicious speculation and slander. Obviously, no one believed what Qin Yuan said. Even compared to border police, they trust their Yixing brother more. It's not just the live broadcast room that nobody trusts, but also in the temporary observation room. Director Lu couldn't help but laugh to himself. Isn't the police here too funny? Still checking for drugs. From the makeup work of Zhang Yixing and his wife to the decoration on the car, which one was not arranged by the makeup artist and prop team of the production team. How could it really be that they have been following their old master for more than a decade? Unable to help but turn his head and grin at Yao Guowei, he said, "Captain Yao, do your subordinates really like to wear hats? If this were a bad outcome, things would be big. 1 million viewers would be watching." Although Yao Guowei didn't understand why Qin Yuan was so determined in his heart, he knew very well what the word drug represented behind it. Even though he was worried that Qin Yuan had only been working in border defense for 3 months and his abilities were limited. But he is also certain that even if he only works for 1 day, no one dares to joke about drugs. You should know that they fight wits and bravery against criminals, even if they risk their lives to protect them, and the biggest danger comes from drug traffickers. In the past 40 years, the number of drug cases solved in southern Yunnan alone has exceeded 310,000. On average, there are nearly 8,000 cases per year. You have to start at 20 every day. Sacrificed countless people's heroes. Thinking of this, Yao Guowei stopped his impulse to find Qin Yuan and sat back down. Shoo. He lit a cigarette, exhaled a puff of smoke, turned his head to look at Director Lu, but his eyes unconsciously became sharp. Although this operation was agreed upon by us, it was indeed a practical exercise. But are you sure? Your people haven't concealed that you took the opportunity to smuggle drugs out of the country. Lu Dao subconsciously still had some anger towards the other party, but when he looked at Yao Guowei's indifferent eyes that seemed to have remained unchanged for an eternity, his heart suddenly tightened. Yao team, what do you mean? What I mean is, I believe my people won't joke about this kind of thing. Yao Guowei's eyes became increasingly cold. In those eyes, there is a sharp scrutiny that sets life and death aside and prohibits any crime from happening. It seems like nothing can escape these eyes. For a moment, Lu Dao was a little worried and less confident. No, I don't know, right? Can't you really come up with any tricks, right? Director Lu turned his head to look at the staff and said, "Let the prop team come over." Ah. Now. Nonsense. Let him come over immediately, immediately. On the border defense highway. Li Nan was pointed at by a gun and was already trembling, crouching on the ground with his head in his arms. Mistaken, misunderstood. I really misunderstood. Her voice trembled like a frightened quail, with a crying tone. But the two colleagues still stared at her with sharp eyes, and the gun was aimed at her. Then a colleague nodded at Qin Yuan, indicating that he could start working. Qin Yuan recalled the location of the drug hiding area that had just been prompted by the pop-up window. Although he felt it was a bit inconvenient, today the few female colleagues at the border were either sick or had tasks, so he took leave. Since that's the case, we can only ignore so much for now. So Qin Yuan took a quick step and threw Li Nan to the ground, handcuffing him directly. Even so, Li Nan is still crying for help. You bullied me. You don't deserve to be a police officer. Do good people have to be insulted like this? Is there any law left? The live broadcast room, which was originally still joking with bullet comments, suddenly exploded. No one expected Li Nan, such a seductive beauty, to be treated so rudely. Especially since there is no evidence to prove that she really carried drugs out of the country. I see it clearly, his police number is 831128, I will report him now. Sleeping slot. I've opened my eyes. It turns out that being a police officer can handle law enforcement so crudely. I think he's just a wolf in human skin. Shameless. Not only did the live broadcast room explode, but Zhang Yixing was also stunned and said, "Comrade, is there any misunderstanding?" When I realized it, seeing Qin Yuan actually start to take off the stockings under Li Nan's skirt, my heart suddenly tightened. This scene must have been seen by the audience, and if it continues, the consequences will be unimaginable. Finally, Zhang Yixing couldn't resist and decided to come out and try to stop this farce. Comrade. It's really a misunderstanding. We are from the crew of Throwing Alone, and I am actress Zhang Yixing. She is a staff member of our crew. We contacted your Yao team in advance this time to promote border defense under the guise of practical exercises. We definitely didn't bring any drugs. However, the ID cards we just provided to you were all fake certificates made by our props. We wanted to verify if the fake certificates could pass border security checks. There was absolutely no illegal behavior in the rest. Zhang Yixing originally thought that saying these words would make Qin Yuan understand that this was a misunderstanding, and he must not make repeated mistakes. Unexpectedly, Qin Yuan only looked up at him coldly, with no emotional waves in his eyes. What you said, I guessed when I discovered that your documents were fake and saw the camera in the back seat. But using practical exercises to promote border defense and transport drugs, isn't that good? Zhang Yixing. Director Liu. Audience in the live broadcast room. Using practical exercises to promote border defense and transport drugs. When he heard Qin Yuan's words, Zhang Yixing suddenly became confused, and Li Nan's eyes were almost protruding like dead fish. She couldn't believe it in her dreams, Qin Yuan actually saw it. The question is, how did he see it? So far, she doesn't feel like she really exposed anything. And at this moment, after a few seconds of silence in the live broadcast room, a barrage suddenly erupted. Isn't it? Brother Yixing has already explained it clearly to him. What does he mean now? Using practical exercises to promote border defense and transport drugs. Is this not a joke, is it? I don't believe it. Even if this beautiful woman gets kicked in the head by a donkey, she wouldn't dare to live stream with poison in front of millions of viewers, right? That's right. If it's true, I'll stand upside down and have a diarrhea on the spot. I took a screenshot upstairs. Don't try to run. By the way, can't it be true? What if this beautiful woman thinks she can fish in troubled waters under the guise of practical exercises? Don't mention it, the border guard guy will definitely be able to catch her at other times. If she were to do a program under the guise of promotion, maybe she would have really run away. Stop talking, look. What is he doing? Why is he still taking off his stockings? Sleeping trough, he actually. The new book set sail, seeking data. If the data is good, it's even more guaranteed to be 10 times a day. Chapter 4. Turning hands. Pulling out. He was just a little earlier. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Let go of me. I'm accusing you of molestation. Li Nan was still struggling frantically, but Qin Yuan had already taken off her stockings 3 times and handed them to a colleague beside her. Colleagues were a bit confused when they took it over. Just now he had heard Zhang Yixing's explanation and really thought it was a farce. He almost had to put an end to it. Who knew Qin Yuan would say such a thing? Is it really fake? But where exactly are the drugs hidden? Why take off stockings? In the next second, Qin Yuan had already let them know what professionalism means. While Li Nan was still struggling, Qin Yuan had already put on his gloves. Then, under the shocked gaze of millions of viewers in the live broadcast room, as well as Director Liu and Yao Guowei in the observation room. Not paying attention. A straight yellow dragon came and dug his crotch. Li Nan stiffened all over, his whole body froze. Zhang Yixing almost stared out from the side. Both colleagues were also shocked. Sleeping slot. Is he really here? Isn't this too exciting for Jill? Is this the privilege of border guards? As long as there is suspicion, they can search anywhere. No, I fucked. Is this not appropriate for the police scumbag? Director Liu suddenly leaned back in his chair, and the shock on his face was replaced by surprise. Shouldn't this guy be a border guard? Do you understand traffic passwords too well? Of course, he still felt a moment of silence for Qin Yuan in his heart. After all, if such a thing is exposed, not only will it be a disciplinary action or dismissal, but the pressure of public opinion alone can crush him to death. Only Yao Guowei's eyes narrowed slightly, staring closely at Qin Yuan's expression. He noticed Qin Yuan's expression, with a hint of relief and seriousness. And the next second, Yao Guowei saw a yellow, 5-centimeter-long object appear in Qin Yuan's hand when he stopped. This is drug balls. On the border defense highway. Beside the Ford car, 2 colleagues were stunned when they saw Qin Yuan really take out a drug ball. Qin Yuan didn't have any extra expression, but rather breathed a sigh of relief. After all, when he found out that he was currently being live-streamed, he also felt immense pressure. It can be said that if this system appears, it is really an illusion. It would be fortunate for him to resign and remain anonymous to survive for a lifetime. Otherwise, the power of cyberbullying has already been demonstrated in countless cases. Fortunately, he made the right bet. The system reminds that 1 kilogram of methamphetamine is really hidden there at this moment. Many colleagues from Qin Yuan have gathered around, who are also border police officers. The ones they hate the most are naturally drug dealers, followed by drug delivery personnel. When they saw the drug ball, everyone threw admiring glances. Yuan, that's great. I just heard about it all. Although it seems like it's an anti-fraud campaign, you're also doing a good job. You didn't embarrass us border police. Colleagues praised him one after another, but it made Qin Yuan feel a bit embarrassed. After handing over Li Nan, who had lowered his head, mixed with shame and regret on his face and had an extremely brilliant expression, to his colleagues for arrest, Qin Yuan turned his head to look at Zhang Yixing. The latter is now both shocked and ashamed. He never expected that his peers would really take advantage of the opportunity to transport drugs. Comrade, I really don't know. Qin Yuan looked at Zhang Yixing's panicked and ashamed expression and smiled. Don't worry, I know you're innocent. Do you know? Zhang Yixing is completely confused. Why does he know everything? Even the drugs hidden there can be known. Until then, the audience in the live broadcast finally reacted and the barrage boiled in an instant. Is this really true? I thought he wanted to molest that beautiful woman. I'm so damn it. Woo, I'm not human. I actually slandered the border guard guy. What a great border guard. How do I feel like his movements were a bit familiar just now? It seems like I've watched the video of finding drugs in his crotch that went viral before, and I feel like it's him. Sleeping slot. I said why it looks so familiar. It turns out to be the popular border guard crotch guy online. I'm disrespectful. At this point, Qin Yuan had already obtained his phone from Zhang Yixing and saw the statement on the barrage. I couldn't bear to smile bitterly. He is not actually a real border guard guy, but after crossing into this parallel world, he participated in a variety show called Playing is Real. This program focuses on reality, randomly selecting professions, and then arranging contestants for a 1-year professional experience by the program team. The first 3 months are not allowed for contestants to engage in personal external promotion and live streaming, in order to help them better integrate into this environment. And all personal belongings will be collected, only the mobile phones provided by the program team and a 1,000 yuan startup fund. Of course, the reason why it is so attractive, even the popularity of the program is actually very high online. It's because the various sponsors of the program are very wealthy and willing to spend money on promotion. At the same time, the prizes are also extremely generous. Wait until 3 months to start the live broadcast, and in the next 9 months, the player with the highest cumulative popularity will receive a reward of 300 million. So, it can be said that in the first 3 months, Qin Yuan worked as a thorough border guard. Sometimes I even forget that I am experiencing my profession and challenging reality. As for the previous groin room, it was also discovered by the Yao team. In order to give him, as a newcomer, a chance to hone his character, they let him take action. Who knew it went viral online? Although due to the requirements of the production team, individual contestants were not allowed to live stream or promote during the first 3 months, and the popularity quickly decreased. Who knew it would be remembered by the audience again now? Of course, Qin Yuan has now undergone some changes from the beginning. He began to fall in love with this profession, and 3 months made him feel a lot of the beauty of life and the honor that this profession brings. Now picking up his phone and facing the audience, Qin Yuan did not take the opportunity to seek a wave of attention, but earnestly held up the yellow drug ball with a serious tone. Let me give you some science popularization. This thing is called a drug ball. I know this thing may be extremely distant for everyone. But do you need to know how much harm it poses? In just 1 year, there are over 60 photos of anti-drug heroes that don't need to be mosaic anymore. Do you know why? Because they sacrificed themselves honorably. Just to protect everyone's safety. Just in southern Yunnan, over the past few decades, we have cumulatively seized over 4 million tons of drugs. We have captured a total of 510,000 drug suspects. More than 310,000 drug-related criminal cases have been cracked. Do you know how many martyrs have been buried in the Menglong Martyrs Cemetery in Xishuangbanna? It can be said that countless border police officers have devoted their lives to this 4,060-kilometer borderline. One word, deafening and enlightening. Countless colleagues around me who spoke frankly were moved and silently saluted. Zhang Yixing also had tears in his eyes. Yao Guowei, who rushed over not far away, was also emotional and stopped a few meters away to salute. After finishing all of this, Qin Yuan smiled at the million audience and said, "Science popularization is over, I'm sorry for letting everyone see something bad. But I still hope that everyone, cherish life and stay away from drugs." The new book set sail, seeking data. If the data is good, it's even more guaranteed to be 10 times a day. Chapter 5. Exclusive live room for the program, coming to live. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Woo-woo, drug traffickers are all very cruel. Although they have experienced a very dangerous operation, they are still educating us. Really, I cried to death. Bean paste. Drug dealers, damn it. Ah. The millions of viewers in the live broadcast room were moved when they heard Qin Yuan's words. Countless tears streamed across the barrage. Subsequently, more barrage emerged. Fan, this border guard guy full of positive energy, I announce that I have fallen in love with him. Crotch brother, can you start a live broadcast? We are all willing to listen to your science popularization. Qin Yuan has a black line at his end. Can't this title be used interchangeably? At this moment, Yao Guowei also walked over to Qin Yuan and patted his shoulder. Yuan, you did a good job. I will report this matter to the leader. I must give you good recognition in the team then. As he spoke, a proud expression on his face was evident. A public opinion that was about to start a turbulent wave was suppressed by Qin Yuan, and he even fought for face with the team. Who doesn't love such subordinates? Feeling proud, I saw Director Liu running towards me with a thud, and my face immediately darkened. Director Liu, this incident happened to the staff of your crew. You should stay and explain it tonight. No problem, what Yao team says and what I do. Lu Dao not only didn't get angry, but also had a big smile on his face, which surprised Yao Guowei. Why did someone suddenly change? So good-tempered. He certainly didn't know that Lu Dao had achieved his goal of generating popularity, so he could do whatever he wanted. Especially when the drugs were actually taken out, he was also startled. It has to be said that he still admires Qin Yuan very much. Especially after Qin Yuan and the audience popularized science, the popularity of the live broadcast room has directly reached over 1.5 million people now. So although he was scolded by Yao Guowei and didn't feel any dissatisfaction, he still took the opportunity to turn his head and hold Qin Yuan's hand, smiling. Your name is Qin Yuan, right? Can you tell me how you discovered it? Sorry, I can't answer you about this. Qin Yuan naturally cannot explain the existence of the system. Fortunately, Director Liu thought it was confidential. If it were revealed, the drug dealer would know how to hide it in the future. So the conversation changed. I see you have a good image, and now you have gained popularity. How about it? Do you consider developing in the film and television industry? I still have 2 scenes in my hands. Although it's not easy to play the first one, I can still give you the position of the second one. Qin Yuan saw through Lu Dao's calculations at a glance. This delicate egoist clearly saw that everything was based on interests. Do you want to take advantage of your current popularity? Sorry, I just want to be a good border police officer now. As soon as Qin Yuan finished his refusal, an excited round of applause came from behind. Looking back, I saw a small young man carrying a camera with a flushed face, excitedly looking at Qin Yuan. Hello brother Yuan, I am specially sent by the program team of Playing is Real to shoot your Flow PD. Yesterday was already the last day of 3 months of fully closed experience, so today I'm here to live stream you for the next 9 months, 24 by 7 hours without interruption. Moreover, I actually arrived a long time ago, and since you were on duty, I didn't disturb you. But I synchronized all the shots to the live broadcast room from start to finish, and now the popularity on your exclusive live broadcast room is cool and on the rise. Why don't you take a look? It seems like there are almost 10,000 people. The word spread to the live broadcast room of the crew, and 1.5 million people suddenly lost several 100,000. Crotch brother secretly opened a live broadcast without telling me. I'm here, brother Crotch. What kind of bird movie crew? I'm just here to watch brother Crotch. Woo, don't leave, brother Yixing needs you all. Quickly hanging on the program page of Playing is Real, Qin Yuan's number of live broadcast rooms skyrocketed, breaking the 100,000 mark in the blink of an eye, and still growing rapidly. In the official automatic ranking, because the calculation is based on cumulative popularity, the vast majority of contestants start live streaming early in the morning, so their popularity is far ahead. Only Qin Yuan has been broadcasting for just over an hour, but even so, in a short period of time, he has climbed back from the bottom ranking of more than 20 to 79. Director Liu watched the cool decline in popularity in the live broadcast room, wanting to cry without tears. However, he also knew that the show, Playing is Real, couldn't compare to it. The wealthy father behind his back could easily crush him. If people know that he is digging at the bottom of the wall, they will have to unload him. So Director Lu cried and went to report to Yao Guowei. Zhang Yixing also nodded respectfully towards Qin Yuan and left. Several colleagues also patted Qin Yuan's shoulder and returned to their work positions. Qin Yuan also asked clearly that Flo PD is called Xiaoguang. Xiaoguang, can I quit this program? Qin Yuan really fell in love with the profession of border police. Although money is also loved by him and loved by everyone, he feels that this profession has brought him a different sense of honor. This cannot be bought for any amount of money. Xiaoguang looked embarrassed and said, I don't know, but I heard that the penalty for breach of contract is at least 8 digits. Qin Yuan. Forget it, as long as it doesn't interfere with me, it's up to you. After speaking, Qin Yuan let Xiaoguang happily carry the camera to shoot. The audience in Qin Yuan's live broadcast room was also as happy as during the Chinese New Year. That's right, Brother Crotch needs to live stream early, and all 3 sheep have to change their names to 3 Crotch. How many times a day can we encounter drug trafficking at the border? Didn't it just say there were over 20 incidents in a day, but not all of them were at this border checkpoint, right? Well, I'm afraid I won't be able to see my Crotch brother again today. Ha ha ha, Crotch brother. Are you polite? I gave you the bean paste. Just as the audience in the live broadcast room was happily interacting, the number of people had gradually reached the 150,000 mark. A sharp-eyed audience suddenly realized something was wrong. How do I feel that Brother Crotch's gaze is a bit familiar? Hiss. It seems like that's how he looked at that drug trafficking beauty just now. Brother League, don't sleep, come and live. Qin Yuan didn't know that he had already made the audience in the live broadcast room see-through. At this moment, he was looking at a man who had taken the initiative to get off the car in front of him, with an honest appearance and buck teeth, smiling at him, but with a slightly haggard smile. At the next moment, a pop-up window flashed in front of Qin Yuan's eyes. Name. Who Hi, Gender. Male, Occupation. Co-boss/murderer, crime. Holding a double tube to snatch and kill village officials and 3 people who have had conflicts with them. Presented at 5 o'clock today. The author is looking for a Flower monthly pass evaluation ticket, seeking support. The more awesome the data is, the harder the small author's update. Chapter 6. Sensational live broadcast room. A.level wanted criminal, no. You are listening at novel full.audio. When Qin Yuan saw the system's pop-up window, he couldn't help but take a deep breath. Good guy. Just sent away a drug carrier. Surprisingly, another fugitive has arrived. In these days, we can still kill 3 people. This is already a major criminal case. When it comes to the Bureau, it's necessary to issue a wanted notice and organize a special joint cross-provincial arrest. Good guy. After Qin Yuan realized it, he couldn't help but exclaim in his heart, good guy. After the previous verification on Li Nan, he can be certain that the system's pop-up window must be real. If that's really the case, then this guy doesn't seem to be from southern Yunnan at first glance. He shouldn't have been crossing mountains and mountains all the way, wanting to escape the country, right? However, Qin Yuan remained silent. He felt that the other party was mostly carrying a guy. Hello, could you please show me your identification documents? Qin Yuan took the document, but also noticed that the other person looked a bit foolish, but there was a thief's light in their eyes, and they knew it was difficult to deal with. Daring not reveal any flaws, he took out the machine and scanned the documents. Of course, it was intentionally shut down to avoid causing panic. He needs to at least confirm if the other party is armed. And determine whether, while the other person is staring at you, if you take the lead with your gun, will the other person be 1 step faster than you? Qin Yuan was still on the safe side in the end, not impulsive. There are some issues with the machine, please wait a moment. He spoke calmly and turned towards the checkpoint. 1 step, 2 steps. The other party doesn't seem to have any stressful reactions. Qin Yuan slightly relaxed, his hand resting on his waist, his palms sweating. Brother Yuan, why are you sweating? I wonder if it's not hot today either. Xiaoguang was carrying a camera and running along the way, feeling a bit puzzled. Shoo, don't speak up. I suspect that person has a gun. Xiaoguang was suddenly frightened and trembled all over. Fortunately, the two have already walked over 10 meters, and the man seems to have overlooked this detail. The audience in the live broadcast room couldn't sit still when they heard this, and the barrage exploded with shocking words like, lying trough. Isn't it? Is it really fake? Do you have a gun? This person looks quite kind-hearted and even smiles. Can he really carry a gun? Are you suspecting Brother Crotch? I forgot how Brother Crotch proved it to you just now. That's right. Everyone is in such a hurry. Just wait and see, it's over. If this guy really carries a gun, he must be a fugitive. If Brother Crotch can really take it, it will definitely be a great achievement. When the live broadcast room was boiling, Qin Yuan had already hurriedly walked into the border checkpoint with a small light. When he knocked on the door and pushed open Yao Guowei's office, he found that the person was not there, so he immediately went to the interrogation room. Yao team. Pushing open the door of the interrogation room, there was indeed Yao Guowei sitting inside, and he was interrogating Zhang Yixing and Director Liu as usual with a border police officer. Seeing Qin Yuan suddenly arrive, Yao Guowei was immediately delighted. What's wrong? Shouldn't it be urging me to report the credit to you? Don't worry, I have finished writing the report and will report it to you tomorrow morning. Qin Yuan knows how dangerous such a fugitive with a gun is. He even worries that if he drags on for too long, the other party will take the opportunity to slip away. The harm it brings to society is too great. So Qin Yuan immediately leaned into Yao Guowei's ear and whispered, Yao team, I have discovered a major suspect who is highly likely to carry firearms. We need support. Yao Guowei was suddenly startled, and the teacup in his hand almost shattered on the table. Then Qin Yuan saw the gleam in his eyes. That's not fear, it's excitement. Just kidding. The drug traffickers just now are not considered major suspects unless they are caught. Now there's actually a major suspect coming to your door. However, after being excited, Yao Guowei still realized the seriousness of the matter. Put down the teacup and shout directly into the earphone, boldly, immediately contact all the armed police at the checkpoint to rush to the entrance. Yes. Immediately, immediately. It's urgent. After speaking, Yao Guowei turned his head to Qin Yuan and said, Yuan, this action is too dangerous. You still shouldn't step forward. No, if I don't go back now, it might alert him. Looking at Qin Yuan's firm gaze, Yao Guowei couldn't help but feel moved in his heart. Then you must be careful. Don't worry Yao team. Yao Guowei handed over an earphone and said, put it on, you must listen to the command. Yes. Woo-woo, cry for me. Is this the responsibility of Brother Crotch? He is so majestic, and I am so humble. I feel like I am not worthy of him anymore. What should I do? I'm so nervous that I can't bear it. Me too, the spoon has deformed my grip, so nervous. Under the gaze of 150,000 viewers in the live broadcast room, Xiaoguang carried the camera, his legs swaying slightly, but he resolutely gritted his teeth and followed Qin Yuan. Mainly, the program team has also signed an agreement with him. If the live broadcast is interrupted, he will also face sky-high compensation. So, when the armed police squad had already gathered behind the checkpoint, Qin Yuan returned with Xiaoguang. Comrade, is my ID okay? Hu Hai had a harmless smile on his face, revealing a seemingly clear foolishness in his eyes. Qin Yuan also smiled, reaching out to get in a car while calmly listening to Yao Guowei's reminder on the earphone to calm the suspect's emotions and not take unauthorized actions. It seems that only 10 minutes of delay is needed to buy enough time for colleagues in the armed police team to encircle the rear. No problem, but as usual, I need to ask you some questions. I hope you can cooperate. Qin Yuan tried his best to make his smile appear warmer. Hu Hai didn't notice anything, so he reached out to take the document. Just as Qin Yuan thought the scene had been grasped, Hu Hai suddenly looked at Xiao Guang. Two words directly made Qin Yuan's heart beat faster, and Xiao Guang's eyes were even more frightened. Why are you looking so ugly? Do you seem to look very nervous? At the same time, among the 150,000 viewers in the live broadcast room who were also frightened and held their breath, suddenly someone with sharp eyes recognized this person. Lying, fucking. I remember. I have seen this person online. Hu Hai. The Ministry of Public Security has issued an A.level wanted warrant for the person to be arrested. Crotch brother, run for your life. You're not his opponent. Chapter 7. Violent Challenge. Betting on Professional Honors. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. This Hu Hai, originally named Huawei, killed 3 people in one person and even fed their bodies with minced meat to their own cattle, escaping the first interrogation and investigation by the police. The methods were extremely cruel. I'll go. I also found out that this person has nothing to do with the appearance on the wanted warrant. It's just the same. It's over. At first, I thought the crotch guy was joking, but I didn't expect he was really a fugitive. Brother in the crotch, hurry up and run away. You're not his opponent. This time, taking out the crotch won't work. Just as the live broadcast room was howling with sorrow, Qin Yuan suppressed the nervousness and unease in his heart and helped Xiao Guang, who was starting to sway beside him, smile at Hu Hai and say, he's had a bad stomach. He's been like this all day. Hu Hai grinned foolishly, but he seemed to believe it anyway. Comrade, if you have anything to ask, just ask. Qin Yuansong opened his eyes and patted him from behind to signal him to hold on. Then he turned his head and asked, Myanmar is not safe now. What are you going to do? This is not because my family made some money by running a coal mine. I heard that Burmese women are pretty good and I want to go and get a wife. Your idea is very dangerous. If you want to buy a wife, it's human trafficking, Qin Yuan said with a stern expression as he spoke. He continued to speak sideways towards the camera. I will continue to popularize science for everyone here. Abducting and trafficking women is generally punishable by imprisonment of not less than 5 years but not more than 10 years and a fine. If a woman who has been raped and trafficked, or steals infants and young children for the purpose of selling them, shall be sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment of not less than 10 years or life imprisonment, and shall also be fined or have his property confiscated. Woo-woo, I really cried my whole body out. He has already faced such a heinous criminal, yet he still remembers to teach us science. It has to be said that he truly deserves to be a little brother in the crotch. His courage is really too great. Is he not afraid of it? The barrage in the live broadcast room suddenly exploded. Xiao Guang on the side also looked at Qin Yuan in shock, not knowing how this person's psychological qualities were cultivated. To educate netizens in front of a heinous criminal. Are you really not afraid? At this moment, Yao Guowei's voice came back from Qin Yuan's earphone. Yuan, listen carefully and don't say anything that may anger the other party. Now our armed police comrades have gathered and planned to approach from behind the other party. You don't need to do anything, as long as you can stabilize the other person, it's a big achievement. Qin Yuan himself was not solely determined to be a hero. He just doesn't want any criminals to appear in his own hands on this border and become a missed fish. So upon hearing Yao Guowei's words, Qin Yuan immediately followed his instructions. Turning his head to look at Hu Hai, who was already in a state of confusion and seemed to not understand why the police officer began to educate him, Qin Yuan tried hard to show a warm smile. It is our responsibility and mission to popularize science. I hope everything goes smoothly and you abide by the law after you go to Myanmar. Hu Hai breathed a sigh of relief, thinking that Qin Yuan was really going to let him go, laughing and wanting to say something. But suddenly, Yu Guang noticed something. He looked at the rearview mirror next to the driver beside him. From there, one can see a row of fully armed black figures silently approaching. Everyone has guns in their hands. At first, Qin Yuan didn't notice it, but after realizing something was wrong, he followed the other person's line of sight. Suddenly, there was a thump in my heart. It's broken. The moment when this idea almost popped up. Boom. Hu Hai's face has suddenly changed. Damn it. He cursed. I had an instant reaction and rushed to the driver's position with an arrow step, directly shifting gears and forcefully pressing the accelerator. This silver-gray Volkswagen, with unknown hands, rushed straight towards the door in an instant under the crazy driving of Hu Hai. A dozen or so armed police officers immediately saw that their pupils were all wrinkled and reacted. They have already been discovered by the suspect. Yao team, should we shoot? Upon hearing the anxious inquiries of more than 10 armed police officers, Yao Guowei, who had been standing nervously on the second-floor window, gritted his teeth and almost immediately ordered to shoot. Although until now, he has not personally confirmed the identity of the suspect. So we can't let the armed police directly kill people before. Because there are also explicit regulations regarding the use of guns by the police. But now the other party has been involved in using violence and dangerous methods to resist and obstruct the people's police from fulfilling their duties in accordance with the law. We have met the requirements for shooting. However, just as he was about to order the shooting, several colleagues who were also nervously watching beside him suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Look! There seems to be a person lying on the car. Oh my goodness! Isn't that Qin Yuan? He didn't actually run. Instead, he chose to jump into the car while the suspect was violently passing through the level. What? Yao Guowei was suddenly startled. Upon closer inspection, he saw a figure on the silver white-handed Volkswagen roof, tightly grasping the sides of the frame and trying to prevent himself from falling off. Isn't this nonsense? Yao Guowei flew into a rage, feeling both love and hate in his heart. Upon realizing this, he immediately widened his eyes and ordered to his earphone, drive and chase immediately. Anyway, we must ensure Qin Yuan's safety. Yes. The second one is presented. The author is looking for a Flower monthly pass evaluation ticket, seeking support. The more awesome the data is, the harder the small author's update. Chapter 8. Life and Death Speed. He, in his mortal form. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Yuan's jumping onto the car was almost an instinctive reaction. You should know that once the other party crosses the border, it belongs to Myanmar's territory. In this way, the laws of a great country cannot be enforced on the territory of the other party. Moreover, Myanmar is notorious for its chaos. The military governments in various regions have been engaged in internal conflicts for decades, and later ceasefires have formed the current military and political forces of all sizes. For example, Hua State, Shangang, and Kokang have their own territories and armed forces, which make it difficult to manage their areas. No one cares, I can't care, I don't want to care. This has also become the reason why Myanmar has become the current paradise of lawless maniacs. He knows this very well. Hu Hai is also very clear about this. As long as we cross the China-Myanmar border, Hu Hai will be safe. The dog said. Come on. You guys come and kill me. At this moment, Hu Hai has become increasingly insane, and the evil in his heart is growing recklessly. Looking at the entrance of the border checkpoint getting closer and closer in front of me, occasionally looking at the armed police team chasing behind in the rearview mirror. With a crazy smile on his face and red eyes. Just break through this door. I'll be free now. Come on. I'll see who can stop me. In an instant, Huawei pulled out a homemade double-barreled gun directly from under the driver's seat chair and pulled the trigger out of the window. Bang! The flames, accompanied by intense gunfire, instantly frightened all the vehicles that were originally heading on the road and made them dodge. The People's Armed Police Squad is sitting in a Raptor F-150 off-road alloy police car, with a bulletproof body and glass, so there is no danger. Despite this, Xiaoguang, who was carrying the camera, was still frightened and limped all over as he got mixed up with the co-pilot. Brother Yuan, you dare not have anything to do. The popularity of the live broadcast room has already reached 200,000. If this continues, you may be the dark horse of this year's program. 3 billion, when a person dies, there's nothing left. It's not just the little light praying in the heart. The audience in the live broadcast room were also boiling with barrage. Sleeping slot. He fired. This is a violent challenge, are you sure this is not a movie? I didn't know, but I thought it was a big country 007. Guy YYDS. Just now, with that leap, it has already surpassed 80% of people in the country. Be confident, over 99.9999% of people. I feel like I can even enter the People's Armed Police or even the Special Forces with that skill. No matter how high your martial arts are, you can't stop bullets. I hope Brother Crotch will not die in a major disaster. Crotch brother, you're confused. It's all work, why bother working so hard? Upstairs, you don't understand. This is the glory of a great country. Without countless Crotch brothers working hard, who will protect our safety? Just as the audience prayed in the live broadcast room, Qin Yuan had already adapted to the situation on the roof of Volkswagen at this time. Grasping tightly on both sides of the frame with both hands, I heard a gunshot coming from inside the car. Obviously, the suspect has risen to become a criminal. According to the police's written regulations on using guns, it is now possible to shoot and kill them. In fact, not shooting at first was because Qin Yuan was not sure where the opponent had placed the gun, and also because he was just skeptical and not 100% certain. If he really shoots directly but ends up with an error, then he will face the disaster of imprisonment. But now it's different. Shooting is legal. Moreover, with a distance of less than 100 meters, Huawei will drive through the border gate. Time waits for no one. No delay allowed. So Qin Yuan grabbed one side of the frame with one hand, trying to prevent himself from being thrown off by high-speed vehicles. At the same time, use your right hand to directly pull out the Type 92 police pistol from your waist and hold it in your hand. Everything is just lightning and flint. The public has rushed to a location less than 50 meters away from the border gate. As long as you let the other person charge over and then shoot, it's illegal. Close your eyes. Qin Yuan felt the power and 5 senses that had been strengthened by the system now. The wind howls in my ears. Gradually, a heavy panting sound also came from the car underneath. Found it. Shwa. Qin Yuan suddenly opened his eyes and raised his pistol with his right hand, firing 3 shots at the car roof in a row. Bang! 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 After 3 shots, there was a sudden scream in the car. Ah! Immediately after, the vehicle began to lose control. In an instant, the armed police and Xiaoguang on the Raptor, Yao Guowei upstairs, and 200,000 viewers in the live broadcast room all had their hearts hanging in their throats. Faced with such a heinous criminal holding a double-barreled gun, no one knows what will happen next. Although Qin Yuan fired, it was through the roof. Once the opponent fails to lose their combat effectiveness, they retaliate with their double-barreled guns at their heads. That's not just for fun. Fortunately, the next second. Shoo! After losing control, several fierce tail flicks directly threw Qin Yuan out of control. Boom! Then the public lost their direction and crashed directly into the border fence. Creaking. The raptor driven by the armed police in the rear suddenly brakes, and the tires leave a sharp tire mark on the ground. Finally, he forcefully stopped less than 10 centimeters in front of Qin Yuan, who had been thrown to the ground. Are you okay? The armed police driving are concerned about looking out with their probes. Qin Yuan got up from the ground panting and waved his hand. It's okay. Yao team, people are fine. The armed police immediately reported to Yao Guowei and received his instructions. Immediately go check on the criminals, and if they engage in any dangerous behavior, shoot and kill them on the spot. Yao Guowei's face remained stern, with no intention of slacking off. He was well aware that although Qin Yuan gang had just fired 3 shots, the person was on the roof of the car and it was still a high-speed vehicle. It's good if you can hit, don't expect to really cause too much damage. Maybe the criminals are holding guns and waiting for the armed police to approach before they can explode. Qin Yuan was helped up by Xiao Guan, and this time he did not follow over to check. Mainly, it was also in the dark that he strengthened his senses, as if he heard the sound of 3 bullets piercing his flesh. I should have hit them all. But he can't be sure where he hit. The rest should be handed over to the armed police for resolution. So, under the tense gaze of Qin Yuan, Xiao Guan, and 200,000 viewers in the live broadcast room, the armed police team approached the smoking crowd with the engine turned off. However, when they saw the situation inside the car, their eyes widened. This. How could it be? The third watch arrives. Seeking data, seeking support, all kinds of requests, good guys. Chapter 9. Guns and guns avoiding key points. This guy is also too far away. You are listening at novel full.audio. What did they see? Why does it feel like something unexpected? I don't know, it's not like he was directly beaten to death, right? Killed to death. Eliminating harm for the people. Upstairs, what are you joking about? A vehicle traveling at high speed, lying on the roof of the car, can shoot the culprit with 3 precise shots. Do you know how difficult it is? That's right, I really thought playing for her love 5. And bringing a crosshair. The live broadcast room was filled with barrage of bullets, making a lot of noise. It is believed that with Qin Yuan's skills, it is entirely possible to have killed the criminal. But more people still believe that even if special forces personnel come, they cannot guarantee 100% success. The second floor of the border inspection station. Yao Guowei's eyes were sharp like eagles, staring closely at the stalled Volkswagen several hundred meters away. Finally, he frowned and scanned the armed police surrounding the vehicle. Finally, I couldn't help but speak into my earphone, what's the situation? Why haven't you fired yet? Yao team, criminals, criminals. The voice of the armed police officers was somewhat unnatural, which immediately made Yao Guowei impatient. This is not the first time you have faced a violent criminal, how can you behave like a cucumber egg? Hurry up and tell me what's going on. In Yao Guowei's view, it was nothing more than Qin Yuan's extraordinary performance, directly killing the criminal with 3 shots. What's so surprising about this? Even if it's really like this, it can only indicate that Qin Yuan's luck is really good. First, we found a 1-kilogram drug ball, and then we shot and killed an A-level wanted criminal. Maybe we can also strive to apply for a 3rd-class merit. That's really an honor. But the next second, the deafening sound of the armed police came from the earphones. It's not a kill, 3 shots, gun-to-gun avoidance. But it makes the criminals lose their combat ability. What? Yao Guowei is foolish. He never dreamed of such a result. immediately rushed downstairs. When he arrived next to the scrapped Volkswagen, he saw that the armed police had already approached and brought out Huawei, who had been knocked unconscious. He has a blood hole on the back of both hands. Obviously, these 2 shots directly made the criminal lose their shooting ability at that time. The 3rd shot rubbed against Huawei's forehead, leaving a bloodstain that pierced through his right leg. Let Huawei lose his ability to escape. Yao Guowei was shocked. A vehicle traveling at high speed, lying on the roof, was shot at by a gun, but the gun avoided the key points. At the same time, it ensured that the criminals lost their ability to move and fight. How could this be luck? What kind of divine marksmanship is this? Yao Guowei looked back at Qin Yuan in shock. What happened? How does it feel like Yao's team saw a naked beauty? Hiss, this look seems to be cannibalistic. Shouldn't the gangster really be killed? Even if you're killed, you don't need this expression. Camera brother, could you get closer? Xiaoguang listened to a reminder from the staff of the program headquarters in his earphones, conveying the request of 200,000 netizens. Let him get closer. Xiaoguang leaned in Qin Yuan's ear and talked about it. Qin Yuan himself was curious, so the 2 of them walked towards the public. As soon as he followed, Qin Yuan saw the bullet hole on Huawei's body, which was being held unconscious by 2 armed police officers. I was taken aback by myself. What is the situation? Did you become a sharpshooter after the system modification? You don't need to look, can you tell the other person's position just by listening? Xiaoguang also widened his eyes. The live broadcast room was even more explosive. Sleeping slot. What did I see? If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have thought it was a script. Crotch Brothers' marksmanship is so amazing. Yes. The audience in the live broadcast room brushes the screen crazily. In the headquarters building of the Playing is Real program team, the supervisor responsible for reviewing each contestant's live broadcast room saw a crazy increase in popularity in one of the live broadcast rooms. Popularity +1+1+1+1+1+1+1+1. What is the situation? Is someone brushing data? The supervisor is a Mediterranean, scratching his bald head at this moment, with 10,000 reasons in his heart. He just ordered his meal, went to have a meal, and when he returned, he saw the live broadcast room of the once sinking contestant Qin Yuan, suddenly starting to counterattack like a dark horse. Popularity keeps skyrocketing. I thought this contestant had an epiphany and started working on it. But now I suddenly see that popularity is once again skyrocketing, and I always feel that something is wrong. At this moment, the staff under his command exclaimed, the popularity of Qin Yuan's live broadcast room has reached 250,000 people. If ranked by time period, he has already ranked in the top 10 by this hour. Even based on his cumulative popularity ranking, he has gone from last place to 69th place now. Upon hearing the data reported by the staff, the supervisor felt even more suspicious and directly pointed to Qin Yuan's live broadcast room. Open it and take a look. As soon as the live broadcast room was opened, the scene of blood breathing was already presented. Sleeping trough. The supervisor almost didn't use foul language. But then there was some panic. This is probably not for the sake of popularity, it's just a slap in the face, right? What exactly is this person's profession? Border police. Border police. The supervisor breathed a sigh of relief, it seemed that this was not a criminal act. But there is still some uncertainty about whether such bloody and violent scenes can continue to be broadcasted. So I contacted the program manager. Quickly, when this news spread, the entire building of the production team began to stir. This program has thousands of workers due to its high cost and huge time span. There are billions of dollars involved. Any mistake can have a huge impact. So when I heard that there was a player whose profession was border defense, and he seemed to have shot and killed the suspect on the first day of the live broadcast, I was very nervous. Such things themselves are extremely sensitive. And Xiaoguan, at the request of some unprofessional staff member, actually pushed for close-up. Isn't it out of line, his mother? However, after an emergency meeting, the general manager still made the final decision. Continue broadcasting. I already know the situation. As a border police officer, I play with reality and don't engage in desperate battles with criminals. How can it be considered real? And we are also indirectly promoting the difficulty of border defense, which is a patriotic sentiment. Just mosaic some of the scenes. So, Qin Yuan's exclusive live broadcast room was preserved. However, Qin Yuan is completely unaware of this and is now accepting criticism from Yao Guowei. Yuan. You must never take such reckless actions in the future. This is not a beautiful country of personal heroism, but a great country. Of course, although it was criticism, Yao Guowei still asked about Qin Yuan's injury with concern after speaking. After confirming that it was just an external scratch, I breathed a clear sigh of relief. Yao team, I know as a police officer, only by protecting oneself can we protect the people well. But just now I was just instinctive and didn't think too much. Qin Yuan scratched his head and wanted to explain, but was interrupted by Yao Guowei. Needless to say, I understand everything. However, as usual, a written record is still required, as shooting requires reporting. Upon hearing this, Qin Yuan understood and stood up under the continuous follow-up of Xiaoguang, following Yao Guowei towards the border checkpoint. But behind him, all the armed police and border police spontaneously made a move that shocked the audience in the live broadcast room. Salute. With a loud and resounding sound. Schwa. All the police officers saluted Qin Yuan's back standard. The red flag danced in the night sky behind them, with lights shining on it, dazzling and dazzling. Chapter 10. Shocking the senior management. The heat continues to rise. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Border checkpoint. The interrogation room. Due to respecting Qin Yuan, who had just experienced life-threatening situations, Yao Guowei omitted many routine questioning steps. Even someone poured a cup of tea for Qin Yuan. I know you were originally a contestant in a program, and working as a border police officer was also discussed with the program team and Li Bureau. As a way of promotion, Li Bureau agreed. But now I want to ask you, if given the opportunity to choose, do you want to become a true border police officer? Yao Guowei's words were sharp, but his eyes were soft. Obviously, he was also very conflicted in his heart. In theory, such words should not be asked by him. Because he does not have this authority and qualification, Li Ju needs to come in person. But he really thinks from the bottom of his heart that Qin Yuan is a good seedling. I'm only in my 20s, if I could cultivate it well. Maybe we can really make achievements in border defense. Qin Yuan was almost about to blurt out, but behind him came a burst of hearty laughter. Qin Yuan, you need to consider carefully. Li Ju. Yao Guowei saw the middle-aged man pushing the door in and immediately stood up in surprise. Why did you come? How could I not come after such a big thing happened? Li Ju and Li Zirong smiled and pulled a chair to sit next to Yao Guowei. Qin Yuan, don't be nervous or worried. Although you may be a bit reckless, you have always achieved great success, and within a day, you have achieved 2 consecutive accomplishments. This makes me a bit envious. Li Zirong laughed heartily, but quickly regained his composure. So, what Captain Yao wants to ask is also the question I want to ask you, but I am representing the people's government. Now, I hope you can answer my question seriously. Are you willing to become a true border police officer? Upon hearing these words, Yao Guowei was somewhat surprised. This is against the rules. Without a written test or interview, just transition from an internship to a full-time position. Even he could imagine how much pressure public opinion would feel if this matter spread. Even Qin Yuan was a bit stunned. He thought Yao Guowei's question just now was just curiosity. Actually, before answering, he himself was not clear about the answer. But I didn't expect even Li Ju to ask, and with righteous words, it seems that as long as you agree, you can really do it. Xiao Guang was nervously holding his breath while carrying the camera. The audience in the live broadcast room was even more excited and sent congratulatory messages. A congratulatory message was sent from Northwest Political and Legal Affairs. A congratulatory message from the University of Agriculture and Forestry, Natugu Nubalayang Village sends a warm congratulatory message. +1. Of course, besides joking, the audience is also very nervous. Originally, Brother Crotch is a contestant on the program group of Playing is Real. Not to mention, compared to the players, he is more suitable to be a real border guard. With him in my heart, I can rest assured for a day. By the way, I also know about that program, which is extremely popular. I heard that the top popular person can win a prize of 300 million yuan. Is he really willing to accept it? So. It seems like it's worth it to continue being elected. Just as the audience was discussing, Qin Yuan already had his own answer in his heart. He looked up at Li Zirong with a firm gaze. Li Ju, I am willing. Are you sure? Okay. Qin Yuan's gaze was unprecedentedly firm. At first, I just came to experience life, but 3 months have made me feel a lot of responsibility. Especially today, I suddenly realized that I can change a lot of things. I also want to protect everyone. Although I may just be an ordinary person, countless ordinary people like me can do extraordinary and great things. Woo 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 woo. I cried to death all at once. Everyone cried for me, so touching. Netizens in the live broadcast room burst into tears again. Especially when this choice is completely unequal, there is a reward of 3 billion yuan on one side, and not only is there no reward on the other, but there is also a possibility of life-threatening situations at any time. But Qin Yuan still resolutely chose to become a true border police officer. Okay, I got it. After pondering for a moment, Li Zirong smiled at Qin Yuan and said, You don't care about anything else. Tomorrow, you will officially report. We will hold a welcome ceremony for you. Qin Yuan, she said, Thank you, Bureau Li. Li Zirong stood up to leave when something suddenly came to his mind. Also, I heard that the program you participated in had a lot of compensation, right? Yes. Qin Yuan did not conceal anything. Okay, then don't quit yet. I'll see if I can give you both fish and bear's paw. Li Zirong smiled and patted Qin Yuan's shoulder, saying, It would be great if you could use your current popularity to continue promoting our border defense. Keep up the good work. After speaking, Li Zirong pushed the door back to his office when his phone suddenly rang. Looking down at the incoming call immediately made him frown. He had originally planned to have raw rice cooked, and tomorrow he even held a welcome ceremony in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers. If there is any pressure in the future, bear it on your own. Even if it's dismissal. He will never let go of such a good seedling. But this phone call disrupted his plan. Zhao Ting, why did you proactively contact me when the wind blew? I should have reported my work to you. Li Zirong smiled and said to the phone. The tone over there was quite serious. Lao Li, don't be playful and smiling. Let me ask you, is there a border police officer named Qin Yuan in your area? Or, is it an intern border police officer? What? I asked you if it was. Yes, how did you know? Now on Weibo Hot Search and Douyin, there are many heroic deeds of him, even in the department. I called specifically to ask, how did I know? How do you think this should be handled? Alright, don't give me a blind eye. I don't know who your old Li is yet. You really can't let go of such a good talent. Isn't he a contestant on that show? Tomorrow, in front of netizens, give him some raw rice and cooked rice, and let him become a regular employee directly. Ah! Yao Guowei was confused. He didn't expect Xiao Ting to know about this program. Even after learning about it, he even took the initiative to call him to leave Qin Yuan behind. Ah, what? What pressure is there? I'll handle it for you. Letting go of such good seedlings is not only a loss for us, but also a loss for the entire country's border defense. Just the positive impact he brings is enough for us to break through and fight for him. Besides, didn't he even make 2 achievements today? You don't need to give me the report, I'll write it myself and report it to the department. That's settled. After speaking, Zhao Ting immediately put down the phone, leaving only Li Zirong holding his phone, feeling dizzy.